Career Roadmap to Data Analysis by Akena Ononaku.
We're dealing with roadmap to selecting a career as a data analyst or as a business analyst or as a HR analyst or as a financial analyst. Now, this is one major area people do not understand extensively. I've asked some people call me on phone and they'll tell me, hello, are you one way? I'll say yes. They ask me, we got your number through Google. I want to learn data analysis. And at the end of our discussion, I realized that they don't really understand what data analysis is all about. Some people will come into my office and they will say, I want to learn data analytics. And these are all the things I've been facing. Now, that's the reason why I want us to begin from there. We're not going to jump into the technical aspect of doing exam, we're coming there. But I'd like us to really know, how do I choose a career in data analysis? But why are we starting from data analysis? We are starting from data analysis because this is one area of tech that within a space of please, that within, please can you mute yourself? Please, can you mute yourself? Somebody is Nadia, please, can you mute yourself? Nadia, can you mute yourself, please? Thank you. Okay, so like I said, some people will come in to ask me about data analysis and the rest of them. And the reason why we chose from data analysis is because this is one major area that within a space of 4 months, you can begin to talk about getting a job. And the job might be remote, it could be on-site, but then the opportunities are there. So that is we want to begin from there. And data analysis, data particularly, is very, very important in our society now. No company can do without data. No organization can do without data. And that is why we are here. So we're going to look at understanding the different career paths. What are the different career paths? Who is a data analyst? Who is a business analyst? Who is a financial analyst? Who is a HR analyst? Are there some similarities? Do they have something in common? That's number one thing we got today. And number two, we will look at understanding the technical and employability skills to get a job. Now, this program is not designed to make you technically sound alone. We're going to also bring in employability skills. After knowing the job, after knowing it technically, what am I going to do to become employed? I was teaching data analysis in the morning with some students, and one question a student kept asking me is, how do we get a job with this? This is one of the things we're going to teach you. We'll teach you the technical skills, then we'll teach you the steps to getting a job, the steps to being employable. That's what we grouped in under technical skills and employability skills. Then next, we're going to look at will be, who is our facilitator? My name is Akena Ononaku. You all know me. I'm an IT professional with several years experience in data analysis and management consulting. I'm the founder of One Way Technologies Limited, and One Way Technologies has been running since 1997. I've trained over 2,000 persons, and they've been able to get jobs in different areas of tech. And by the grace of God, I have my knowledge spanning through some technical tools like Power BI, Tableau, Excel, Python for data analysis, AWS, Linux, Kubernetes, Ansible, WordPress, Docker, SQL, Git and GitHub, continuous integration and delivery with Jenkins, Maven, Terraform, HTML, and the rest of them. These things are not there just for jokes. These are all technical skills that we teach in our office. Since 2002, we've been into it, and by the grace of God, we're here. And I've consulted in so many areas, like Costaris PLC. I've consulted in Industrial Training Fund, Docker branch. I've consulted with Federal Polioco, where I analyzed that data and also taught 89 bursary unit staff how to use Microsoft Excel for data analysis. And that was where my book on Microsoft Excel was launched as far back as 2007. I'm passionate about educating the next generation of IT professionals, and our major aim is to parent the next generation of IT gurus. As time goes, I'm also going to introduce other facilitators as they come up to handle their training. Without wasting time, I'd like us to move further to which of these career paths are you interested in? Now, I'd like us to look at this. There are so many career paths in data analysis. And I'd like to ask, which of these career paths are you interested in? Number one, we have the career path of a data analyst. Number two, we have that of a business analyst. They are not the same, they are different. Number three, we have financial analyst. And number four, we have human resource analyst. These are four different areas I believe we're going to cover as we move on. Who is a data analyst? Who is a business analyst? Who is a financial analyst? And who is a human resource analyst? Clearing this will help you to choose a career path. Clearing this will help you to make a choice on which path to go, even though the four of them have some strong similarities, but they are different. A company might choose to employ you as a data analyst, while another might decide to employ a business analyst. So it all depends on what the company is actually looking for. But somebody can be good in the whole of them. So let's begin. Who is a business analyst? That's a very important aspect of it. Who is a business analyst? Some of us have misinterpreted this aspect of our course. But I'd like us to please listen very well and grab something very important. This will be like a stepping stone to where we're going to. So at the end of this section, you will not take a decision, I want to be a business analyst or I want to be a data analyst. Then you should be able to know which courses to go for. Who is a business analyst? A business analyst is a professional who analyzes an organization's business processes. I'd like you to take note of that word: business processes, systems, and stakeholders to identify improvements and solutions to business challenges. Now, basically, a business analyst, are we together? So we're still here trying to explain who a business analyst is. Now, when you come into a company or an organization, a business analyst is that person whose job is particularly to optimize processes. He doesn't run any analysis, or he's not expected to run any analysis, but his duty is to check the processes, the way things are run. What are the ways adverts are done? What are the ways productions are done? How do we supply our goods? How do we relate to customers? And by the time it studies them, it tries to optimize the process. His major duty is to see how he can improve on the process so that the company will progress more. Now, let's look at what are the roles of a business analyst. The main role of a business analyst is to act as a bridge between the business stakeholders and the technical team, ensuring effective communication and understanding of requirements. Now, a business analyst bridges the gap between the stakeholders and the technical team. As a matter of fact, the stakeholders in this case now are the non-technical team. In every organization, the stakeholders can be divided into two. We have the technical and the non-technical team. The non-technical team or the non-technical stakeholders are those stakeholders that their major duty is to take business decisions. They stand as the CEOs and the rest of them. So to take major decisions, but the technical team are those stakeholders that handle the technical aspect of the company. For instance, if there is a need for the organization to own a website, those programmers, those developers, they're also stakeholders too, but they're grouped amongst the technical team. So it is the responsibility of the business analyst to bridge the gap between the technical team and the non-technical team. And the next question is now, okay, let's give this example first of all. Assuming you have an organization and what you sell are handmade bags, and your customers have been complaining of delayed delivery and incorrect orders. You know, ordinarily in companies that produce stuff or that sell some things, customers will come to make order. But every time they keep complaining that we make orders and our orders have been delayed. Or oftentimes they say it's not what we ordered for that they gave to us. And all these complaints can be there. That's actually the current state of the company, a situation where things are not going normal. And in this case now, let's take an analysis of, or let's take a good look at what the current state could look like. The customer, this is a situation whereby the customer makes an order by calling. I'd like you to take note of this now. The first thing, the customer makes an order by calling. And the next thing is the staff manually writes the order down. I'd like you to take note of those steps. The staff writes the order down. And the next thing, the staff scans through the notebook to check if the item is available. Of course, you can now imagine how slow that can be, he begins to scan their notebook. Let me see if these things that the customer ordered for are available. Don't forget, time is going. And eventually, by the time he discovers the order is available, he will print the details of the order. You now know the time it could take him to print the details of the order. Then next is he goes to the store. You don't know the distance from the store to where she is or where he is. He goes to the store to check if the items are available, one after the other. Remember, human factor will set it too. Then when he discovers that, he picks the items, assuming the orders are available, he picks the items and prepares a shipping label for it. Then he now calls a courier man to come and pick it up. These are the steps. And after that, the courier man picks it up and drops it over to the customer. Possibly, this could take 3 days. And that's a delay. The customer needs this thing within hours. And due to these delay processes, is getting it in 3 days. But now, I'd like you to look at the optimized state. And that is now the work of a business analyst. Instead of the customer ordering by calling, the customer orders back through an online, maybe an e-commerce, you just orders online. So it doesn't need to call. It just makes an order online. That's easier. And when he orders online, the order management system receives the order. Now, don't forget, previously, the staff manually writes the order down. But now, there is an order management system, a software that will automatically receive the order. So it's no longer going to be a human being now. Everything is being translated to machine. That's tech now. Now, when the order management system receives the order, the next thing will be it will automatically update the inventory. Don't forget that previously, the staff will have to scan through the notebook to find out if these items are there. But this time around, the order management system, that's the software, will automatically update the inventory. It will scan through to find out if what is needed is there. And when it discovers it's there, it automatically generates order details. And then the next thing will be an automatic shipping label will be produced immediately and sent to the staff to pick up the items. Of course, we're not trying to say that the place of the staff will be ruled out, but certain protocols and certain processes will be optimized. That is exactly what we're going to. Now, eventually, the author, there'll be an automatic schedule pickup with the courier. That's a message can be sent automatically to the courier man to come and pick up and drop this with the customer. And that can happen in 3 hours because certain processes have been cut off. You can now imagine, assuming the staff manually wrote down the order and eventually had to go to the store. If he has over 20 or 30 orders, you can imagine the time it will take him or her to process them. But the order management system can do that automatically. That is exactly what it means to optimize the process. So you can see the current state. You can see the optimized or the future state. Now, it is the responsibility of the business analyst to look at this current state and decide an optimization process. So once he decides that, he goes to the stakeholders, to the CEOs, and presents to them the fact that there is a need to optimize their process. And once the CEOs, as the non-technical stakeholders, once they buy the idea, he will be the one to now bring in and brief the technical team on what to do. That is simply the job of a business analyst. So you can see that. You can take it simpler. I walked into an eatery one day, and the way things were going on, I just said to my wife that these people need a business analyst, because I could see some processes being slowed down, and customers are not really happy with all the processes. But if they have a business analyst, he could dive into the whole process and find out where they have bottlenecks. That's the job of a business analyst. He goes in to find out where they have bottlenecks, and he tries to take care of them. So that's the job of that. Now, what must I learn to become a business analyst? What must I learn to become a business analyst? One, now look at this now. These are the key learning areas. Number one, you must begin from Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel. And number two, you go to Power BI. Power BI is one of the business intelligence series, Power Business Intelligence. And then you can go to SQL. These are three major technical skills that you must begin with. Then you can go ahead. Of course, these three skills, we're going to cover them. Our major lesson will begin from Microsoft Excel, basics to advanced. And we're going to be looking at Microsoft Excel as a tool for data analysis. Like I promised us, we're going to be we're going to move gently, and we're going to be down to earth. We're going to be as simple as possible so that all of us can be carried along. Then you have process mapping. Process mapping has to do with certain steps taken to solve a problem in an organization. And we have project initiation plan. We have agile and scrum for projects. We have software development life cycle. A business analyst needs to know the steps. Like if you hire a developer to build an inventory for the company, you should be able to know the steps that is going to take. Like in the case of process mapping, this more or less like a visual representation of the steps involved in a process. You just like creating something like flowchart and the rest of them. That's a very important skill too. Then we'll talk about project initiation planning. It has to do with the first phase in the project management lifecycle and the rest of them. So we have requirements, fundamentals, elicitation. These are more or less like moments we might need to get some information from the stakeholders, from the non-technical stakeholders, because these are very important. When we talk about requirement fundamentals, we are talking about basic principles and concepts that are involved in gathering documents and documenting requirements for the project. These are some of the things we're going to talk about as we move on. Then we'll talk about the stakeholders analysis and engagement. Then, very important is the next one there, Chat GPT for business analysis. Every data analyst or every business analyst must know how to leverage on Chat GPT. That's more or less like a little portion of artificial intelligence. So these are the key learning areas. But our first step will be from Microsoft Excel. Now, what are the different careers that you can start upon completing this program as a business analyst? If I take a training as a business analyst, like I've noticed some of my students, they go on LinkedIn, they go on most of these job platforms, and they want to be searching for job for business analyst. It must not be called business analyst. There are several other different careers that are under business analysis. One is process automation analysis, while the business architect. So a company can be employing a process automation analyst. That's a part of business analyst, or business architect, or process improvement analyst. You can see that now. Process improvement analyst. That is an analyst that will be actually involved in improving the processes. Product reliability engineer, business process analyst, business system analyst, IT business analyst, and requirements engineer. These are different careers that are under business analysis when you complete the course. Then let's go to the next career, who is a data analyst. Who is a data analyst? Likely to, that's one popular one that people always come around, and when they come, they say, I want to be a data analyst. Some people will stop me once in a while, they will ask me, what is this data analysis they are talking about? I mean, it's so rampant on everywhere. What is data analysis? And some people seem to get more confused day by day. So let's look at that. Who is a data analyst? A data analyst is responsible for analyzing and interpreting data to generate insight and support data-driven decision making. And listen very well. One thing is data. Remember, data is very important. Every company needs to keep track of what goes on there. Every company, the banking sector, the church even, and the rest of them. I went to my senior pastor a few days ago, and I told him of the importance of analyzing our data at regional level. I was excited. I said, why not? Let's begin it. So every organization, first of all, the most important thing will be data. You walk into my office and you say you want to register for training. The first thing we do is not to collect your money, is to pick your data, because we know it's very, very important. So the duty of a data analyst is to analyze and interpret data. His major aim is to generate insights. Now, you can be given a very huge data. It can run into millions, and you might be required to generate insights from it. That's the duty of a data analyst. Now, the duties or the job of a data analyst can be divided into two. Please listen very well. The job of a data analyst can be divided into two. Number one, he is going to answer these two key questions. A data analyst, as when I walk into your company and you want me to analyze your data, I will have to answer these two key questions. Number one is, I should be able to tell you what happened. As me, you give me data of what happened over 1 month, 1 year, or 10 years. I should be able to tell you what happened. Example, I should be able to tell you this is the total revenue that the company generated within the period of time being considered in the data. I should be able to tell you the total amount of profit. I should be able to tell you the best 10 customers. I should be able to tell you the best performing staff. I should be able to tell you the product that is yielding the best. I should be able to tell you certain key things. We'll call it key performance indicators. I should be able to tell you about them. So when I do that, I've simply answered the first question, what happened? So the stakeholder can ask me, what happened in the revenue? I can tell him the revenue is some amount. And the second question the data analyst must be able to answer is, why did it happen? The first one, sorry for the error there. The first one there is under what we call descriptive analysis. What happened? Descriptive analysis. You should be able to give an instant answer to certain things. And the second one there is, why did it happen? That's diagnostic analysis. So the two duties are one descriptive analysis and diagnostic analysis. Why did it happen? Okay, the company income for the month of January was 20 million, and the month of February was 30 million, and the month of June was 10 million. I should be able to tell this company why the income reduced in the month of June. For instance, if I'm analyzing data for Coca-Cola, a company which I've worked with severally, I can easily tell the company that the reason why the revenue dropped in the month of June and July is because there is a lower demand. People don't drink much in rainy season, and but the demand can be high in December to January because it's festive season. So I should be able to tell the reason, or maybe I should be able to tell the company that it is because of the location of the company, that the company is located near a school environment and the schools are not in section. So I was able to tell the company what happened, because from knowing what happened, then the company can be able to take decisions like what the company might decide is okay, since every June and July we have low sales in people drinking Coca-Cola product. What will happen is that when we come to that month of June and July, we are going to put a promo for the consumers. We're going to put drink and win, and for our customers who buy from us in wholesale, we're going to give them a promo: buy 10 crates, take one free, and that could be a good decision to improve on what's going on. And don't forget, that aspect now becomes the job of a business analyst. And the two key things a data analyst will do is he picks the data, he tells the company after analysis what happened and why it happened. And what is the role of a data analyst? The data analyst is responsible for analyzing and interpreting the data to generate insight. He analyzes the data using the necessary tools. We're going to look at those tools. He gets the data, he runs analysis on them, and he interprets also. He tells us his findings. That's what we mean by generating insights. And he gives support that are data-driven. These are the jobs of a data analyst. Now, for instance, let's look at this data. Look at this data set now. This is a data set talking about people traveling to certain countries for holiday. And you can see the timestamp showing this data you're looking at now was generated from a survey conducted using a Google form. We're going to do it as we move. So you can see the timestamp, you see the gender, and you see the destinations where they intend to travel. You can see the time of travel, and you can see the type of activity, the holiday with who are you traveling with, and you can see the means of transportation. These are the columns we have in this data now. Now, this data is in its raw state. It doesn't make meaning. Looking at it, it looks confusing. There's nothing that you can achieve with it. But a data analyst picks up this data and he's able to work with it. Now, look at, he picks up this data. One key thing a data analyst will do with this data is that he transforms it to a dashboard. Stakeholders, there's no technical stakeholders, understands the dashboard. You can call it a dashboard, you can call it a report. That is a situation whereby you pick up a raw data, the data gets transformed, then you run an analysis on it. The end product of every data analysis is it comes to the point where you present it as a dashboard. Now you can look at this data now. Consider the data set raw. From what you can see now, you can see that we have a total of 373 respondents. That makes it simple. You can see that 53% you can see, okay, let me get it larger for us. Look at the dashboard now. You can see that 53% are male. You can see that 47% are female. The data has been broken down. And you can see the total respondents by month and how you can see the trend, how you moved, and you can see the total respondents by destination. And this is a simple summary of the raw data set given. That is exactly the job of a data analyst. He transforms a raw data, dirty data, into understandable form called dashboard. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take this systematic, and I believe we will understand it. Now, the next thing is what you must learn to become a data analyst. What must I learn to become a data analyst? Now, these are the key learning areas. The key learning areas. One is problem solving. Problem solving is classified under what we call employability skill or soft skill. You should be able to have that ability to lead a team, motivate people. That's what it means, and the rest of them. Then you must know Microsoft Excel. You must know SQL. SQL is structured query language. We have MySQL, we have PostgreSQL, we have the rest of them. Well, I believe we're going to look at more of either SQL or we're going to look at more of Postgres or MySQL. We have Microsoft SQL Server and the rest of them. Then the next thing is Power BI. Power BI is one outstanding platform that everyone must know. Then the next is Tableau. Tableau is also another business intelligence series. As a matter of fact, most companies use Power BI. I taught a student in Holland, and he had interest in Power BI. I used to understand in UK, and I think he had interest in Tableau. So it depends on what the company is using. But to balance up your knowledge, we recommend you know Power BI, you also know Tableau. Two of them do the same thing. Then the next skill is data storytelling. Very important. After the analysis, what happened? You should be able to tell us exactly what happened. And that is where we go into what we call documentation. I'm going to teach you how to document your analysis. You should be able to document it in a way that it can make meaning, systematically outlining what happened and what are your suggestions. That's the storytelling aspect of it. Then ChatGPT is also very important. Like I said before now, you must learn how to leverage on ChatGPT. It's one aspect of AI that is very rampant now and is very important. Then the next one is Microsoft Fabrics for Analytics. We're going to talk this also. So these are the key learning areas. Remember that this session is being recorded, and immediately after now, we'll drop the YouTube link on our platform so you can listen to it over and over again. I'd like you to do your best to follow all our series. These are going to be systematic, and if you're able to follow them, believe me, you are going to become good. What was given to you is what we charge as much as 650,000 naira in our office. I'm not joking. I am serious about that. If you come to my office and you tell me you want to learn this, I'll pay you nothing less than 650,000 naira. And of course, that's it. So I'd like us to take it so remember, I encourage us to get a laptop because I will give us series of projects and you're going to do it. And once in a while, share your screen for me to see. Then what are different career paths that you can start upon completing this program as a data analyst? One, you can take up a job as a data analyst. Two, you can take up a job as a Scrum analyst. 3, you can take up a job as a sales analyst. 4, as operations analyst. And 5, as a business intelligence analyst. So you don't expect to see companies advertising data analysis. They can be embedded in any of these things. You can see a company looking for a customer insight analyst or a digital marketing analyst. Like a few days ago, last week, I received a call from Enugu State Internal Revenue to come for an interview for the purpose of analyzing their data. Of course, though I turned it down because I asked him, is it going to be a remote or on-site? They said it's on-site, and I said, no, I can't attend to that. Though he insisted I come around, but yet I only told them if we must talk, then let's do that on Zoom. That's it. So it can be embedded. It must be called data analysis. Can be any of these career paths. That is it. So what is the difference between data analyst and business analyst? Or what's the difference between data analysis and business analysis? What's the difference between a data analyst and a business analyst? What are the differences? Now, a data analyst focuses on using data to help the business answer key questions. That's what it does. You give me your data raw as it is. I will use it to answer some questions like how much profit you've made, the best performing product, the best performing customer, the month you made your best income, the total revenue, and the rest of them. I use it to answer that. A data analyst is more technically focused on the tools used to extract insight. He is interested in the tools, and he looks at trends and patterns from the data. How did the data go? And the business data analyst also works a lot with cleaning data, preparing data for analysis, building reports and dashboards to communicate findings. That's why he's so much interested in. You give him data, he cleans the data first, he prepares it for analysis, he builds reports on them, then he builds a dashboard. Now, some people are usually confused about reports and dashboard. They look alike. Some people may call reports dashboard and call dashboard report. I'm going to come to that when we go into data analysis properly. I want to begin to deal with the tools. And a business analyst looks at the holistic performance of the business. His duty is to look at the business holistically. And he is looking for inefficiencies and how to optimize the process. That's his interest. This company they produce bread or they produce meat pie. Now, what's the production process? Why is it that when customers come, they line up? Like if you live in Oka, you go to Raban stores. There's these Raban stores in Oka, and you line up for bread. I believe that's one deficient area there. If they can employ the services of a business analyst, he will look into the matter closely and finds out how to optimize processes, because I've discovered that most customers find it difficult to struggle for money and still come and stand to start waiting for bread. So some of them will lose interest in coming, even though they are in love with the bread. So it makes the company begin to lose customers. So, but if a business analyst can weigh in, he will look at all the inefficiencies. Why are we not producing as much as the customers need? Why are they lining up? And of course, if you look at Nigeria very well, you realize that one thing we lack is business analysts. We will like lining up. Go to the bank, we will line up. Go to ETs, we line up. Everywhere, go to EDC, we line up. Because nobody there is knowledgeable enough to look at the processes and think about optimizing it. Although, of course, corruption can also play this part too. Then the second thing that he focuses on how the insights from the data analyst can help in increasing the overall efficiencies. Now, the business analyst makes use of the analysis conducted by a data analyst. So, if there is, for instance, if he realizes that we no longer have customers in this organization, he can decide to find out how. And when he approaches a data analyst can decide to put up a survey, and from the survey, will analyze the data and get the findings, submit to the business analyst. And the analyst will interpret the whole process and should be able to come up with a solution. And of course, he approaches the non-technical stakeholders and shares with them his findings and what he thinks could be done. So that's then the final thing is that he works a lot with business stakeholders. That is his work. A data analyst has no business with the stakeholders. That doesn't mean a business analyst cannot double as a data analyst or vice versa. No, but these are the roles. He works more with the business stakeholders, understanding their requirements and developing business requirement documents. So these are his duty. Then let's go to financial analyst. Who is a financial analyst? Now, there's not much difference. A financial analyst is simply a data analyst that analyzes financial data. And that's just the simple thing about that. A data analyst is a professional who analyzes financial data to guide investment decisions, evaluate company performance, and forecast financial trends. A financial analyst is simply a data analyst who analyzes financial data. That's all that. A financial analyst is simply a data analyst. The only difference is that he analyzes financial data. What is the total income, total revenue? What's this and all that? He tries to guide the company on their investment decision and the rest of them. What's his role? His role, financial analyst evaluates financial data to provide insight into the company's financial performance. His interest is just on finances. He supports decision making by the finance department and the executive management. So it's just all about trying to look at the company finances and provide insights from the data given to him. Then what must you learn to become a financial analyst? Of course, this number one skill is very important. Companies need so much problem solving. You must be that good enough is problem solving. It's a soft skill. It's a non-technical skill. Then Microsoft Excel is there. Power BI is also there. SQL is there. Both companies also can go for Tableau. Then some accounting fundamentals. Financial analysis, you remind you to know financial modeling, valuations, and sensitivity and scenario analysis. And most important thing again there also is ChatGPT for analytics. You must be able to know how to leverage on ChatGPT. Then what are the different career paths that it can take up? One, when a company is looking for a financial analyst, it could be branded in any of these comments: investment analyst, market analyst, financial modeling analyst, data analyst, that's in charge of finance, financial planning and analysis. You have commercial analyst, you have sales analyst, and you have cost analyst. These are all different careers you can start upon completing the program. Then who is a HR analyst, human resource analyst? A human resource analyst is a professional who analyzes people data. Now, he is also a data analyst, but he specializes in people data that has to do with human beings, such as hiring trends, employees' performance. He advances human resource policies and strategies. A data analyst simply is a data analyst who analyzes people data. You cannot put it that way. He's simply a data analyst, but his responsibility is to analyze people data. His interest is usually on customers, particularly employees. It could look at the performances of the people employed through LinkedIn and the rest of them. It comes up with some important decisions there. So his role is that he uses data-driven insights to support human resources function. The focus on optimizing human resource processes, employee performance, and talent management. So these are some of the duties. And of course, what you must learn, problem solving, Microsoft Excel, Power BI, you can see some technical skills with your occurring, Power BI, SQL, human resource analytics and performance evaluation, human resource metrics and life cycle, human resource analytics and dashboarding, collaborating and report automation because you are dealing with human beings, building your case and creating actions. If you know how to build your case, then you should also be able to leverage on Chat GPT for data analysis. These are the soft skills. If you look at all we've mentioned, you realize that problem solving, Excel, Power BI, possibly Tableau, SQL keeps coming up. These are the key demands. Actually, the key demands amongst them all has always been these four technical areas. So, what are the different careers you can start upon completing the program? One, human resource analyst, people operations analyst, talent acquisition analyst, benefits analyst, people analyst, human resource business analyst, total rewards analyst, workforce analyst. These are all that must be, that can be under it. So I believe we are following. Can I have some of us respond this time around? How many of us are following? Let me just take a moment to know how many of us are following. If you are following and you're enjoying the whole thing, can I hear your response? Any questions so far? Can you use the chat box? We have 26 participants here also. Yes, I'm following. Can I have Uzochukwu? You're welcome. Pastor Ben, you're following. Don't worry, you also have this being recorded. I promise you, before tomorrow morning, you will have it on the platform. What I would recommend for us is this. Please, when you go to our YouTube channel, try to subscribe so that you can easily receive other of my teachings too on data analysis and the rest of them. Once you subscribe, whenever I post a new video, apart from our Elevate program, I post other videos also of my classes. Once I post it, you can easily access them. Okay? Please, let's go ahead. Can I go to Freeman? I can see you. That's okay. Remember, I said that our target is to see how we can help 30 persons transition to tech. So we're going to do everything possible. The next boom is the tech. Okay, thank you so much. We can see you. We are going to cover as much area as possible. I promise you to take this further. Okay, somebody is asking what is the difference between data analysis and data science? Beautiful question. Beautiful question. A data scientist is also a data analyst. A data scientist will do every work of a data analyst. But the difference is that a data scientist goes one step ahead of a data analyst. Like I told you before now, a data analyst has two questions to answer. One is the descriptive, that is what happened. And two is diagnostic, that is why and how it happened. Now, but a data scientist can do the two also. He will tell you what happened and why it happened, but then he plays an extra role. And that extra role is he does what we call predictive He can predict what will happen in the years to come. And of course, that will now mean that he needs extra technical skills. That is where Python comes in. That is where some statistical tools like SPSS comes in. So he'll be able to tell you, a data scientist will tell you, this is what happened, this is why it happened, and this is what will happen next. For instance, this is the total revenue of the company in the month of January, and this is the reason why the revenue is that way, and this is what will most likely happen even in 10 years from today. So he predicts, he forecasting ability. That's what makes the data scientist outstanding. I remember the technical skills were different. Somebody says that is that part of what we need to learn for data analysis? No, SPSS is not needed for data analysis. SPSS comes in when we are dealing with data science. It is a major requirement for data scientists. So there's no need bringing it in here. The skills we are talking about, Excel, Power BI, Tableau, are enough. SPSS is not involved. I'm into SPSS. I read statistics, and I started using SPSS as far back as 20 years ago. And I compiled a book on that also. So, but then it's not required. But as a data scientist, I think you also have to go for it. So I think that question is well answered. Do you have another question again before I continue? That question, we are 34 persons that have a question. Another question. Okay. So I think we might need to go ahead quickly because I didn't intend to start this lesson. I believe our next lesson will hold. I'll tell you when it will hold, but you always make sure you check our platform for information. I'm trying to see how we can have our classes 2 times a week because I want to look at how within 6 weeks we should be prepared enough to fit into being a data analyst, a business analyst, a HR analyst, or a financial analyst. I'm trying to cover these 4 areas. So if we have no question, then I have to share my screen again as we continue with our class. At the end of this lesson, we will take more questions and I will unmute you if you raise your hand to ask questions, and then we'll continue. Now, some of us were asking about if laptop is needed. Yes, I know some of you are watching and following us through phone, but by the time we begin the hands-on, I wonder how you're going to perform data cleaning with your phone or data transformation. I am actually wondering how you're going to build dashboard and report with Power BI. So that's my concern. That's why I'm recommending strongly you get a laptop so that this moment will not be a wasted moment. So do your best. If it means borrowing, borrow. I always recommend from i3 or i5. As a matter of fact, if we're going to buy a new laptop, go for i5 since you're buying a new one. I had an experience of my student coming with a laptop, beginning with Microsoft Excel, and on getting to Tableau, it couldn't enter the system. So you have to go for i3 and i5. So I recommend nothing less than i3 and 4 gig RAM. But if you have an opportunity, get higher ones, that will be better. And off we go again. So I'm going to share my screen again and we will continue this class. Now we start with different career you can start upon completing the program. So let's go ahead now. And I want to talk about something now. That's what we call a T plus E equal to job offer. That's what I call T plus E equal to job offer. I am not training you only to become technically sound. That's not my interest. My joy is having my students become tech gurus. Some months ago, one of my students came to my office jubilating and sharing with me that he has just been certified AWS. He has AWS certification. I was joyful. I was happy. So I have one of my students working with a company in the US and is collecting $500 every 2 weeks as a copper. So these are some of the interesting things. So you are not only going to be technically sound, I want you to be employable. So T plus E equal to job offer. If you want to get a job, you must be, number one, technically sound. Being technically sound means knowing how to use Microsoft Excel to do data cleaning, data transformation, data analysis, and possibly dashboard and reports. Knowing how to use Tableau, knowing how to use Power BI, knowing how to use Python, knowing how to use some of these platforms. That's what it means to be technically sound. But I know so many people that are technically sound, but they can't get a job. They are far from jobs. Why? Because they need some skills called employability skills. One of the things I'm going to teach you is how to face interviews. And one of the things I'm going to ask you there is to ask you questions to know how employable you are. That talks more about soft skills. Are you able to control a team? Are you able to organize? How good are you with interacting with customers? That has nothing to do with technical skills. That's what to do with employability skills. So it's very, very important. If your target is to get a job, remember, when I talk about getting a job, some of us feel, we are working now, so what am I looking for a job about? No, you can get a remote job, a job that you can do from the comfort of your home. That's exactly the thing. You can be, I'm talking about the situation whereby the job you're doing now will not even be disturbed and you pick up a remote job and you're there. Okay, in the morning, you connect, you check out works to do, you analyze the data, and you go ahead and you submit. At the end of month or 2 weeks, you are paid in dollars, and that's exactly what we're talking about. These things are possible. If I open my link, my email, you see offers there, and they keep coming. Jobs are there. They are there. The only thing is, do you have the technical skills? Do you have the employability skills? Then do you know how to find the job? Now, the next thing I like to talk about now is one major thing that is very, very important. These are additional employability services. Now, I want to talk about this before we start. These things are going to help us to frame our minds towards what we're going to. You see, I like us to set strong goals. I can't be spending these 2 hours this night handling this just for fun. And I don't think you two also be awake this thing and burning your data just for fun. I want us to set achievable goals. Having entered this program, number one, I'd like you to decide to finish. Don't back out. That's the reason why I've made the recording available. So that if you didn't hear this lecture or if you didn't meet up with the class, you can check out the platform or you can even play to make your notes and try to follow. So that's the thing. So let's look at additional employability services. I divided them into levels. And we have level 1, we have level 2, and we have level 3. Now, under level 1, you see CV review session. One of the things I'm going to teach us is about our CV review. That is your resume. I know all of us are all graduates, we've written CVs, we've even conducted interviews, but the truth is this: when it comes to tech, it is not that kind of CV you submit when you're going for a job that you submit. Some of us will, is that the reason why some persons, even though they're technically sound, they can't pick up a job? Why? Because it's not the same. Maybe a company advertise a vacancy and then you just go to your email and then print your CV, your old CV, you go and submit. No, it doesn't happen that way. That's a way you prepare a CV that is meant for a tech job. As a matter of fact, a CV or any resume that is meant for a tech job should be revamped in such a way that it will suit that job. Now, these are the things I'm going to deal with later. No company, no organization in tech has the time to read your CV. The CV is matched with a software that reads it, that goes through it and confirms if your CV meets up to 80% of the job demand. So you only revamp your CV based on the job demand and not coming there to come and say, I did this, I didn't know. So I'm going to talk about that later. That's very important. Then number two, you must own a LinkedIn account, and the LinkedIn account must be optimized. I'm going to show you a sample of my LinkedIn account, and you will see what it looks like. Now, LinkedIn is like an environment where recruiters and job seekers meet. Let me repeat this again. LinkedIn is like an environment where recruiters and job seekers meet. You can't tell me you are technically sound in data analysis and you don't have an optimized LinkedIn account. I mean, it's not just to, some of us, they'll tell you I have a LinkedIn account, but if you go in there, you realize that it's not optimized. There are some things that makes your LinkedIn attractive. There are some things that makes it optimized. I'm going to teach you that. We'll come to it. That is what we're going to look at. I classified under level 1. Then we have the Upwork optimization. Another thing is I'm going to teach you how to navigate the job market. I will show you where the jobs are. The jobs are there. Sincerely speaking, they are there. Not only in LinkedIn. The only place we know is LinkedIn. The jobs are there. And every day, companies keep recruiting. Nigerian companies, foreign companies, they keep recruiting. And it might interest you to know that most of these jobs are remote jobs. So it's not necessarily a job. Maybe you live in Lagos and the job is not advertised in Abuja. You mustn't live Lagos to Abuja. There are so many remote jobs you can pick up too. Please, I'd like you to know. One more thing I want to bring up before I forget is that some of us think that before you are good in data analysis or any analytical stuff that you must have read computer science. That's wrong. That's very, very wrong. You can even read Igbo. I've seen people that read Igbo, that read biology, that read chemistry. And as a matter of fact, one of the leading IT firms, one of the leading IT remote firms I follow, one of the guys there is read industrial chemistry. Just like that. So it doesn't matter what you read. I'll let them as students that who ask me, do I need to know mathematics? I say no. And the mathematics I need you to know is that one you did in primary school. The mathematics I need you to know is that one that a woman uses to cook soup in the kitchen. That one that teaches her that this quantity of salt is what should be added in the soup and the rest of them. So that's some of the things I'm talking about. And the next thing, number 5, is job and interview preparation. I'm going to teach you how to face interview. What are the things the recruiters are looking for? What are the possible questions they're asking? And when they ask the question, what are the possible answers they will give? And the next thing is this. Our company is One Way Technologies. We are strong enough to recommend you, so we can write a written recommendation for some persons and the rest of them. So the 7th thing, which is under level 2, number 7, I also can provide weekly mentorship. You can call me personally. That's one thing. I'm going to drop my contact. First, know it. You can call me anytime, ask questions. I'm going to provide weekly mentorship session for all of us. Call me, ask questions, and I'll answer you. Once in a while, you can get online. I will guide you on what to do. And finally, number 8, if by God's grace you get the job, I will give you the on-the-job support. You get the job, we'll do it. We'll do it together, and you keep moving. That's some of the things that we do. So let's move on. And I think that's the end of this session. And I believe you followed all we said. I think the next thing should be, let's get into the classroom. As a matter of fact, I'm waiting for all of you. I'm ready to help you advance your career. I'm ready to help you connect with the community of analysts. I'm willing to introduce you to the best analytics techniques designed by the best in the business. Remember, we're working as a team. I'm handling data analysis, but Fidel is coming into, and the rest of us are going to actually play very important roles. I'm going to introduce them as the seasons come up, but please, I don't know what you're waiting for. The class will be set, and I believe that is it for the day. So thank you.